Welcome to the 2015 Tigerpaw Partner Conference. Please welcome to the stage James Foxall, President and CEO of Tigerpaw Software.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. So, welcome to Nebraska. How many of you have never been to Nebraska before? Wow. How many of you actually been here before? Much smaller hands. Excellent. I'm going to guess that for most of you, this is probably as close as you had gotten in the past to being here. And this is probably even lower than you've actually been, but you've seen something that looks like this out of a window of an airplane. We're excited to have you. We think we live someplace special. Unless you have a reason to come out here, you don't come out here, so we wanted to give you a reason. Speaking of airplanes, how many of you enjoyed a 10-minute trip from the airport? You don't get that very often. I do feel sorry if you had told me that you actually rented cars, which is really completely unnecessary. But if you want to go somewhere, I'll tell you some great places to go. Also, a bit of trivia. I'll give you some Nebraska facts and Nebraska myths this morning. You actually were in 2 states on your way from the airport, which is really kind of bizarre. So Carter Lake is actually Iowa. So you can see the lake up there by the airport. It used to be a bend in the river, and in the late 1800s, the flood caused the river to change its course, and it no longer is part of the river, that lake. But they kept the state line. So even though you're on the Nebraska side of the Missouri River, you actually traveled through Iowa and back into Nebraska. So we gave you 2 Midwest states for the price of 1. And literally, it's one of those things, if you sneezed, you went right on through it. And for the record, us locals think that's really weird, too. So Nebraska, some Nebraska facts you may or may not know. Obviously, this is the one everybody gets, right? Warren Buffett calls his place home. You guys might not realize it, but his Berkshire Hathaway shareholder meetings are actually held here at the CenturyLink Center. So the main stadium seats about 25,000 people, but he brings in about 40,000 into Omaha. And what they do is they take over these rooms, put up big monitors like this, and simulcast from the stadium. So this is where that actually happens. Home of the College World Series. I think most of you have seen out the Sky Bridge. The stadium is right here downtown. If you guys are college baseball fans, it doesn't get any better than that. If you're local, we stay away from it as much as possible. It's a little crazy, but it's pretty cool. Borsheims, this is an interesting thing. I was talking to somebody last night who's a big fan of watches, and I sent him down this way. So largest independent jewelry store in the nation is actually here in Omaha. It's called Borsheims. It is owned by Berkshire Hathaway, so you can imagine the money that gets spent there during Berkshire days. Nebraska is the birthplace of the Reuben sandwich. We mentioned that last night. Kind of an odd fact, but that's something we lay claim to. The Husker Day, you guys are probably familiar with the Nebraska Huskers. On game day, we consider our stadium to be the 3rd largest city in the state with about 90,000 people. So we have a lot of people. And it's always sold out regardless of how well they're playing, which is pretty cool. Another interesting thing, how many of you are familiar with Arbor Day? You guys have that everywhere? That's actually started right here in Nebraska City, which is about 35 minutes south of where we are today. It's got a great, beautiful lodge. We used to take our kids when they were smaller down there to pick apples right around the time of the year. So Arbor Day started here. The lead jungle in our zoo is actually the largest indoor rainforest in the world. Now, we talk about our zoo a lot, and people that have never been there don't get it. They think we're being a little strange, a little too prideful, but we actually have a zoo that is rated one of the best and usually the best in the world. I'm very excited. We're going to take you guys there tomorrow to show you a bit of it. Morning. Kool-Aid. Now, this fact I did not know until we did some homework, but Kool-Aid was actually invented in Nebraska. Not sure if it's something to be proud of or not, but I thought, okay, it's a fact. We're going to put it up there. Now, a myth. How many of you actually seen a cow since you've been here in Nebraska? How many expected to see cows when you got off the airplane? Thank you for your honesty. I appreciate that. This is the only cow you are going to see in your visit here. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. I could spend 5 minutes outside my house and I could find one, but we're not going to let you see a cow. Also, are you guys familiar with the term cow tipping? Anybody done it? No, okay. The whole idea is that a cow sleeps standing up, and if you sneak up on it in its sleep, you can push it over, hence cow tipping. It's been around for ages. So I once dated a gal whose grandfather was a farmer, and being an innocent city boy, asked him about this. I thought the guy was going to have a heart attack laughing at me so hard. He's like, they weigh 2,000 pounds, right? and they don't sleep standing up. Like, okay, so no myth, Nebraska myth, no cow tipping for you. It's like a snipe hunt. I did kind of mislead you. You are going to see cows, but you're going to see them in this form. We cannot send you home without some Nebraska beef. So I promise you we'll have some good meat while you're here. Now the conference, some of you remember, how many were here last year? So a good number of you. For a lot of it's your first. How many this is your first Tigerpaw conference ever? Wow, we got a lot of new people. That's fantastic. So last year we had done it in Chicago, and we were kind of thinking about doing it every other year. And really, it was the demand from you guys that said, this is great value, we want you to continue to do it. There's a rumor that apparently on the bus back from Lucky Strike and some liquor, we made some promises maybe about doing it too, but nobody can prove that. If you're on my bus, shh. We have people have come from as far away as Ireland to be here with us today, which I think is absolutely amazing. I was just over there actually on a road show with AVG about a month ago. That's a long trip. So we know that time is worth money to you guys. You all have other things to do. You've got family lives. You've got businesses to run. There's just 1,000 things that you can be doing, and you've chosen to be here. And I want you to know it means a lot to us at Tigerpaw, and we're going to work very, very hard, as we have been working very, very hard, to make sure that you have an incredible experience while you're here. We've got some really neat things in store. Yesterday we had our pre-conference workshop. Who went to the workshop? How was it? Awesome. Our team is always known to do a really good job with those. I'm glad you guys stepped up and did that. Now you probably know when we first opened it, it sold out rather quickly. We sent you guys emails. We said it's selling out, get registered. It sold out. Then everybody kept calling us and saying, I want in it. So what we did is we had to invest in some new technology and more space to do it. We sold it out a second time. So if you tried to get in and you weren't able to do it, I'm sorry. It's a pretty intimate deal. We can only handle so many people, but I'm really grateful for those of you guys that were able to make it out. Now the rest of you, why you wait to register to the last minute, you're the reason that I've got this twitch in my left eye. I've had it for 3 weeks. I think half our company has an eye twitch right now. So we're really glad that you guys are here. Before I get too deep in the agenda and the big surprise that I can't wait to unveil for you guys, we got to talk about our sponsors. Boy, I don't even know where to begin with our sponsors. People don't realize the amount, not only the amount of effort, but the amount of money it takes to put on an event like this. We do not make money. We don't make a profit off this. All we're trying to do is provide value to you guys. And we absolutely, positively could not do it without the sponsors that you see out in the hallway and that are going to be presenting. It cannot be done. Absolutely cannot be done. And our sponsor list is not a random group of companies. We handpicked these guys. There's others that could have been here that we didn't think were a fit for you, and we passed on them. So I want you to know, I believe every single one of these, we're very grateful. You know, AVG took the platinum spot, which is a big deal. We've also got 5 golds, which is another substantial investment. We've got Great America, Datto, Rapid Fire Tools, eFolder, and of course, SolarWinds Enable. And then a bunch of platinums, I can't go through the whole list, who've also paid to be here and talk to you guys. You know, my request of you is that you make it a point in the next 2 days to spend time with every single one of these vendors. Even if you use a competing product. There was a dialogue last night where somebody was talking to one of the RMM providers and said, well, I already use another tool. Well, but they had a nice dialogue and there was a great knowledge share that took place. So, you know, if you're not sure what to say, go up, walk up to them and say, hey, I use product X. What makes you special? Give them a chance to just have a dialogue. I promise you'll learn something and you'll take value out of it. And I'm hoping that you find a couple of new sponsors here that will be long-term vendors for you. I mean, they've really got some phenomenal tools. In fact, I think it's so important, we're doing another vendor booth crawl. So you guys should all receive basically a map. It's a card that the vendors can stamp. I think it was in your bag. Go visit every one of these guys, get them stamped. Drop it in the box, which I believe is outside by AVG's booth. And yeah, my voice is going ready. Sorry, I sound like a teenager there. $1,500 prize. So we'll take a random drawing of one of those cards, pay you $1,500 cash while you're here. If you're not the owner of your company, you don't have to tell the owner of your company. It's a pretty nice deal, right? But it's that important to us that you spend time with our vendors. We are so grateful that they're here. They have so much to offer you. It's just a win for everybody if you spend some time with them. Another group I have to thank, it's an incredible amount of coordination and effort to put on an event like this. And the Tigerpaw team is committed. You know, it really gears up the last couple months, but it's probably a good 8 to 12 months of planning from the last one. And there's a few people that you guys should know I'd like to call out here. So one of the things that I've done in the last couple years is really worked with my leadership team, and we've changed some roles. We've brought some new people in, and these are people that you should meet while you're here. So I'm going to ask them to stand up. Let's see here. Where would Michelle be? Michelle? Oh, she had to go back to the office. To help a client? That's commitment. So Michelle runs our help desk. Sorry, she'll be here. You'll get a chance to see her. Where's Susie at? There's Susie in the back. Many of you guys have seen her. Susie runs the training and implementation team. Her group is what did the pre-day training yesterday. They're also responsible for all of the curriculum that you're going to have over the next 2 days. Whether it's a Tigerpaw staff doing the training or one of our great partners that are going to do the training, that all goes through Susie. So when you guys have questions on implementation, what do you want to work on next, it's her and her team that are going to help you out. So thank you, Susie. We've got Corey. Where's Corey? Big guy, looks like a rugby player because he is a rugby player. Corey runs our marketing department. His team is primarily responsible for all the logistics for this event, from food and catering and venue and all the decisions. So really, between Susie and Corey, the bulk of this event falls under them. And trivia, Corey's got a new baby coming. Congratulations. Let's see here. Where is Guy? Is Guy back there? We'll skip over Guy. So Guy runs finance. He's a good guy to know. If we owe you money, he's the one that makes sure you get paid. The newest addition to our team is James Kernan. Is James here? There he is. Some of you may know James. James was the author of The 36-Month Millionaire. He wrote for the Robin Robbins program, and owner of Kernan Consulting. He's recently moved out from San Diego to live here in Omaha and be part of the Tigerpaw team. We think it's because of the weather. I don't know. Well, welcome aboard. Let's see. I'm trying to make sure I get through the list. Rudy. Where's Rudy? There's Rudy. So Rudy in the back runs our development team. I hope you guys have noticed we've put out a lot of software in the last year. Our quality has gone up. We've got some really good things happening. A lot of new integrations with partners. All of that falls under Rudy's umbrella. So if you got any question related to development, you're going to want to find Rudy. He's the guy to help you. And I think, did I hit everybody? I think I got everybody. Then there's the rest of the Tigerpaw team. Can you guys stand up for a second? Everybody can see you. We wear orange on purpose. Thank you. Thank you guys for what you've done. These guys have worked very hard. I want to recognize a partner we have, Planet Omaha. You're not going to know who they are. They're going to look like Tigerpaw employees, but they're a local group here in town that does event planning, and they've been absolutely amazing. So a huge number of people working to put this on for you guys, and we're just 100% committed to you guys. Let me tell you some of the stuff that we've got going on. But first, I want to get some quick facts that you guys might not be aware of. We are in our 32nd year right now at Tigerpaw. We were founded in 1984. Thank you. I get asked a lot, well, you look kind of young to be running a business for 32 years. I think most of you know I'm second generation. My father started the company. We have about 40,000 people every day that use Tigerpaw just like you. I think that's a big number. It shows you guys aren't alone. And if you struggle with implementation or you're confused or you have questions, if we've got answers, our partners have got answers. There's a lot of people out there that use Tigerpaw. Let's see here. We shipped Tigerpaw Mobile CRM in the last 12 months. We have over 530 companies are running Tigerpaw Mobile today. So we've had a lot of adoption with the mobile. We've put out a lot of updates. We've added new features. We've added stability. I think that we've got the finest mobile solution out there. I'll talk a little bit more about that later. Last year was the biggest year in our history, and this year we're on track to beat last year. And I want you to know what we're doing with that is, it's one thing to get up here and say, hey, we're successful, but the point is we're reinvesting in you guys. We've added new technology internally. We've hired a number of people. We have open positions. People ask about what is our direction as a company. Our direction is to grow, and we grow by taking care of you guys. So do know that we're a healthy company, we're a growing company, and we are committed to serving you guys as the largest independent PSA out in the space. I think that's a big deal. Again, I mentioned we're added staff and we're still hiring. I can't recruit here. It might upset anybody, but just saying. We've had a huge focus this last year back on our partner ecosystem. I'll talk more tomorrow. So I've got today's keynote to kind of do a big overview and our big unveil. Tomorrow's going to be more product-centered. So I'm going to talk about the API in more depth. But know that we've re-engaged a lot of our partners, like AVG at a new level. I was over in Europe with AVG here earlier this summer, exploring some options. We've got new integrations. We've got a new API that we've released. So we recognize the importance of the synergy between those vendor sponsors and other vendors that you use in Tigerpaw. And so know that we're getting a lot of effort put into that. We launched the Tigerpaw Academy. How many of you used the Tigerpaw Academy? About half. Oh, I got some great stuff to show you guys tomorrow on that. I'm extremely proud of the initiative. We have a lot of software. There's an awful lot our product can do. The trick is making sure everybody in your company is empowered with the tools and has the knowledge to get it done. And I've got some things to share with you on how we're going to help. That's a big piece of it. Seriously, great piece of technology. Hotfix schedule. One thing we talked about last year at the event is we were a little bit slow at the time on getting hotfixes out. So if you guys found something that was kind of pressing in a release, I don't think that we were doing the job we wanted to do in getting some of those fixes out quickly. But Rudy came on board, he made a lot of changes, and I'm proud to say we've been very responsive on the hotfix. Tomorrow I'll give an example with the What's New box and how the community came together and how we were able to get some software out pretty quick. Also, the average number of days in the implementation queue has decreased by 34%. We mounted this every week. It's one of our weekly KPIs. As you guys know, when you first come to Tigerpaw, there's a lot to chew off. Somebody described it last night to a new guy as, it's kind of like eating an elephant, right? The one bite at a time. Although every now and then somebody wants to eat the whole darn thing, regardless of what we tell them. So we work very hard on producing an implementation program that works if you follow it. So if any of you guys are stuck anywhere in your implementation, Susie's team is the one to talk to, but they're going to help figure out where you're at and figure out how to move you forward. Our goal is a successful implementation, always. If you don't use our software, neither of us are going to be happy. You're not going to stay with us, and you're not going to be productive and profitable in your business. So recognize a lot of our resources are going into helping you use the software better. So I think that's a great thing. Also, support, I'm very happy to say, is improving. And it's one thing to say support is improving, but I want to share some statistics with you guys. We know our hold times aren't quite where we'd like them to be yet. We are working on that. But what I do often hear is once you get a hold of a technician, you're very thrilled with the results, right? We've got very knowledgeable, friendly people that help you. This Q3 of this year versus Q3 of last year, our team handled 20% more calls. That's the number of calls that we handled with emails in a quarter, to give you an idea of the volume that we deal with. Considering there's 40,000 users every day, I think that's actually pretty impressive. We've had a 10% decrease in abandon rate. The abandon rate is we watch the phone systems. If you call our support line, you get in the queue and you hang up, that's an abandoned call. We don't like abandoned calls. We don't want you guys to do that. So we monitor that, and we're doing things to reduce that number. We have a 10% decrease in time to answer. Again, our hold time is a little better this year than last year, but I recognize we want that lower, and we're adding more staff to change that. We've also had a 5% decrease in average call time, which may not sound like a lot, but if we can be more efficient in helping you when you're on the phone, that frees up a technician to take the next call and help somebody else. So it gives you an idea of what we look at internally. It's not seat of the pants. There really is numbers that we're looking at and things we're working on. You can see here, 2 weeks ago, we just won the Best Support Award at SMB TechFest. We're very grateful for that. And that's a comparison of our peers. Some of our peers, we'll let anybody in your company call us for help. You know that. We're going to continue to do that. Some of our competitors will make you designate one champion. They're the only person that can call in, or they even force emailing. Not the way we want to do it. So recognize with those hold times, even though we're working to get them down, we will take the time with you when you get us on the phone, and we will help you, and we will help anybody in your organization. We do track a Net Promoter Score. I don't know how many of you guys are familiar with a Net Promoter Score. Excellent. If you're not using this in your own surveys, I highly recommend that you do so. The nice thing about a Net Promoter Score is it gives you a value that you can equate across other companies. It's a nice standardized comparison. Essentially, you ask people, would you recommend us? And it's a 1 through 10. Your 8s and your 7s, they get thrown out. Your 6 through your 0s are your detractors. Your promoters are your 10 and 9. So basically, you take the number you have in the 10 and 9 minus the ones you have in the 6 through 0. So a 54 isn't like a 54%. It's a net promoter score is not really a percentage. It's a unique number. You can see how we stack up today against some of the bigger companies. Amazon and Zappos, which are fantastic organizations, are in the 60s, and we're in the 50s. So we're going to continue to move this and move it up. So I just wanted you guys to know that we are getting better with support. I'm super proud of what we've accomplished, but you haven't seen the last of that. We got a lot of neat things we're doing there. I would like to tell you a little bit about what we have available for you guys to get help, because I often hear people say, well, I'm stuck on this, or I don't know where to go, or I don't know what to do. We've got a lot of avenues. Some of these I'm going to go into detail tomorrow morning. I want to show you guys the Tigerpaw Academy. You need to see it and understand it. The first is online help. How many of you use press F1 and read the help? See a small number. Those of you that do know, we are committed to keeping that current. We have a full-time documentation writer on staff. Diane does a phenomenal job. We've got screenshots. We got step-by-step instructions and labs and videos. We literally keep that going. The problem is Windows has been around for so long. We all used to use F1 in the early days, right? Now we've kind of become accustomed to the fact that the product may not even have it, and if it does have it, it hasn't been updated in years. Our F1 help is actually on our servers. It's not something that's deployed with the product. So updates are always being made all the time. All you got to do is press F1 and you'll see the help. I encourage you guys to use that. We'll always take your phone call, but if I can get you to push this button, that would be great. Tigerpaw Academy I mentioned. So the Tigerpaw Academy has got it's training on steroids. We have courses. It's designed very much like a learning management system for a university. As a boss, you can assign courses to your employees. You can actually track their status, know what they're doing. It's a very revealing thing to see how people go through. We've got a quizzing engine, a certification piece in it, and it's all part of your LiveBridge. So I'm going to go over that tomorrow. The daily Ask the Expert sessions. How many of you actually go to these? Just a few. How many don't know what they are? Okay. So the daily Ask the Experts, we have Monday through Friday. Is it 1 o'clock Central, guys? 1 o'clock Central. We have a trainer. It's going to be one of the three that you met yesterday at the pre-training. Online on a GoToMeeting, you can come in and you can ask any question you want to and discuss any topic you want to for an hour with a trainer. You just said it's awesome. I'm glad to hear that. It is fantastic, and we want more people to use it. Don't be offended. One of our challenges is trying to transition the mindset, right? The help desk is there to help you when you're really stuck. What's really hard for the help desk and where we get a burden is when somebody calls up and says, hey, I don't know anything about this feature. Can you teach it to me? That's why we have a training group and a help desk group. And so we've designed these so that if it's not a pressing issue, you're not stuck trying to get your job done, you got questions, we have somebody that will take all the time you need to go as deep in the features you need. They're every day at 1 o'clock Central, and again, they're part of your LiveBridge. They're no cost to you. I think it's tremendous that we put an expert on the phone with you to go into whatever you want. If you haven't done one, look in the next couple weeks and just pick one and go in. You also can be a wallflower if you want. There's other people that will come in there, and you'll be amazed at what you'll hear from the dialogue. Email support, you can always email Tigerpaw. I think it's support@tigerpaw.com. Realize the email queue, probably much like you guys run your business. It's not as high priority. So but we have somebody that monitors email all day long. Email is great for those quick questions where you're not really stuck. It's not very pressing. If you send it through email, it gives us a little bit of time to work on it and stay focused on the phones for people that have real pressing issues. We've also got our website you can submit tickets through. We've got our customer portal, the same portal that you guys, many of you were running in your business. So those are avenues to get help. And then the new phone system we put in this year has a callback system. Have any of you guys used the callback feature? A couple of you? What this is, you call us, you get in queue, you have an option to opt out putting in your phone number. Our phone system will remember where your spot was in the queue. When your turn comes up, it will call you. So it's a way so you don't have to sit on the phone and wait for a technician. I think it's a fantastic feature. I highly encourage you to use it. Do know it works, and it will remember your position, so you will not get lost. And then, of course, you can always wait and talk to a technician. And we've got people that you guys know are going to take care of you. They're passionate about what they do, and they're extremely helpful. So these are all the different ways that we have to help you be successful with Tigerpaw. I'm hoping you all take advantage of all of them at various points in time. I know the first and easiest thing is to dial that 800 number, and as I said, we'll continue to pick up that phone for you. But we have other avenues that may be helpful to you in certain situations. So, this event, the 2015 Partner Conference, we're excited. First of all, we have you in our hometown. You know how nice it was not to put 45 people on airplanes and not to have the Chicago unions to deal with? Oh my gosh. So we're already off to a good start. We got a lot of neat stuff for you. Did you guys get the wireless password? Everybody got that? Get the housekeeping out of the way? Going once? Going twice? Do we have this posted somewhere, Corey, if people need it? It's on the app. All right. Crowd Compass app. Go to the App Store, download the Tigerpaw conference app, and you'll have all this information in there. Then I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that. So first and foremost, the big part of this event is knowledge transfer. We have got training sessions on Tigerpaw. We have sessions led by Tigerpaw users and industry experts. One of the things that I always encourage people is when you're at lunch or you're at our parties, and we throw really good parties, take the time to talk to the people next to you. You guys, some of the people in this room have knowledge that blows away anything I know or anybody I know. Even on Tigerpaw, there are Tigerpaw experts that don't work for Tigerpaw. Chris Devaney comes to mind. So if you've got a pressing business question, you're thinking about adding a certain type of recurring service, you're wondering how to bill, ask us, but also ask the people at the tables next to you. Wealth of information. There's a lot of friendships that get created at this event and a lot of knowledge share that continues when they get back. We've got sessions on the Matrix, which I'm really excited to talk about. I'm actually going to be demoing that tomorrow. We've got sessions on pretty much every area of your business. You know, that's what Tigerpaw does. We automate your entire business, not just your help desk and your service component. So you can find sessions regardless of your role or cross roles in all of the conference. Something else that's very important to us is convergence. So how many of you have crossed the barrier where you used to be strictly voice and phone and now you're doing data, or you were doing data and now you've added security? How many of you guys are doing more than one line of business? Maybe a quarter of you. Okay. This really is where we see everything going. You know, our real successful clients, when we take a look at their demographics, they're usually across multiple business lines, but they're all related. They're all technology. They're also usually a mixture of managed services and project work. So in other words, these guys are also selling the equipment that they end up servicing on an MSP model. So we have got multiple tracks set up at this event. We automate more converged businesses than anybody on the planet. That's something we're kind of known for. So we have brought guys in to teach you how to add point of sale to your offerings, how to add security to your offerings. We've got one on voice, and I believe we have one on AV. Corey, did I forget any? We got them all? Yeah, so there's sessions specifically designed to help you learn how to get into these new spaces. And you'd be amazed at how much money is available in those spaces. And we always worried about being commoditized, right? Especially those of you guys that are heavily involved in managed services. Very concerned about being commoditized. When you've got a cross-platform solutions and you become that true trusted advisor with multiple things in your offering, it's a great way to keep yourself being shut out. The scary thing that you guys got to be mindful of is it seems like almost any vendor going into a building now wants to have their IT. So let's say you're doing their IT, maybe you're even doing their voice. Now they just need a security system and you don't provide that. They hire a security company. They come out and of course, what do they say? Hey, we do networks too. You guys have probably run into that a lot. So at least being involved and knowledgeable in these areas, I think, could be of tremendous value. If you don't want to add them yourself, consider partnering with another company in town, so at least you can steer your clients to somebody who's controlled and is not going to take those vendors from you. So great sessions, I think extremely important, something unique to the Tigerpaw event. Another thing we've got is Ask the Experts. We've got our Tigerpaw Lab. You guys that have been here before have probably taken advantage of the lab. If this is your first time, maybe you haven't. But right outside these main doors and to the right, you can see the spinning Tigerpaw banner. We have help desk guys, trainers. We have a bunch of Tigerpaw staff that will be in that room almost all the time. Again, it's kind of like the Ask the Experts. You got questions, you want a little bit more specific time, go in there and ask them. Whatever you want to ask about on Tigerpaw, they're going to help you. If you got some feature requests, feel free to share that with them as well. But that's a great way beyond the controlled learning environment that you've got to really dig into something that might be important to you. Maybe it's just a niggling question on how does something work. Maybe it's a deeper philosophical discussion on a feature. These guys will help you in the other room. Tomorrow morning, I think we start at 8:30, let you sleep in a little bit from our party tonight. You're going to need it. We got a great party tonight. Tomorrow morning is a roadmap. I'm going to get up here. I want to share with you all the stuff that we've built, and I want to talk to you about where we're going in the future with our products. So tomorrow morning is primarily product, which is why I'm not going to dig too deep into product today. Larry Winget. How many of you are familiar with Larry Winget? A few of you. Excellent. Have you seen him? Just familiar. All right. This guy, you know, picking a speaker, believe it or not, is one of the more challenging things to do for an event because, you know, you've got to find somebody. In our case, we want somebody who can entertain but also educate. I think it's important you walk away with something of value and some knowledge. And so they've got to fit our group. We did a lot of research. We were thinking about Larry last year, but the schedule didn't work. So I'm very excited that we've got Larry this year. He'll be speaking tomorrow. His whole thing is really about personal accountability. You know, your own problems are your own problems and how you're going to fix it. I've read his books. I've seen him online. I've never seen him speak, but I'm actually very excited to see him speak tomorrow. Those of you that have been part of our conference before know that we are big believers in the work-life balance. That's something that we do at Tigerpaw with our families. We really walk that walk. And it's also something we try to do here. So a lot of knowledge, a lot of training, a lot of sharing, but we also are going to throw some fantastic parties for you. I did have somebody say, well, I don't think I'm going to go to that party because I don't drink. And I'm going to tell you right now, you don't have to drink to enjoy our parties. It does help, but you don't have to. So we've got two big parties for you. The way we kind of look at our event is we want to structure it like an all-inclusive resort. You get here, let us take care of the rest. So we feed you, you're going to have snacks, you've got entertainment. As you notice, there's not a whole lot of downtime for you. We've taken this conference, it used to be kind of 2.5 days, and on Friday, people were already leaving and they were dragging. So what we've done is we compress it into 2 really intense full days, and then Friday is a chance for you to get back on a plane at your leisure and head home. So we're taking care of all the details. For example, the food. So we had, a lot of people don't know, you actually have to pick all the menu items. So we had 3 different facilities that are going to feed you. We had the CenturyLink, we had the Hilton, we have the zoo. So we had 7 different food tastings with multiple caterers, which sounds like fun. And it is fun for about 3 of them. And then after that, it becomes a lot of work. So we, throwing out menu items, picking others. We made sure we have vegetarian options. For those of you that have special dietary needs, we asked for that on the website. We'll take care of it. If you didn't fill that out and you're sitting down for a meal and there's no food that you can eat, flag one of us at Tigerpaw or any of the staff. Let them know we're all set up for that. We'll take care of you. We want you guys to be happy and healthy. So we did pick really good food. We want to make sure you're fed well. Tonight is the Halloween ball. How many brought costumes? A lot of you, fantastic. There was a big question of whether you guys would do that or not. So we'll all be in costume. So it's obviously close to Halloween. One of the things that is a struggle with our logo is orange and black. It's really hard sometimes to do branding with orange and black and not look like Halloween. We actually get to look like Halloween this year. So we went right with that theme. We have 2 bands that are playing. So last year at the event, you may remember the dueling pianos. My son Ethan, who's an intern for us, got up on stage and played with the band. Well, we've actually, since we're local, we asked his band to open. So these guys are going to play for a half an hour. And believe me, I would not ask them just because he's family. They're phenomenal. These kids are just going to blow your mind. When they're done, we're bringing up the Confidentials. 11-piece band here in Omaha, 3-piece horn section. I can't wait to actually hear Thriller with the real horn section. Fantastic, great dance band. So we'll have lots of food. We'll have an open bar. We're going to have multiple bands. We've got a costume contest. The best costume wins a gift card. For those of you that didn't bring them, we're going to have a number of free items, little masks, ears, things like that. We also brought in 41 costumes that you can purchase. They range from $15 to $50, and they're yours. So about a half hour, 45 minutes before the party starts tonight, the costume shop will open. Where's that going to be, Corey? Back at the end of the breakout hall, towards where the party's going to be. So if you want to participate and you didn't bring something, we've got some options. We're just passing them on at our cost for you guys to have them available. So it should be a really, really good time. Tomorrow, Party with the Sharks. Did you guys see that promo? My little aquarium? That was actually in my office. Most people think of Omaha as this. The second part is actually where we're going, which is the Shark Tunnel at the Scott Aquarium. No kidding about our zoo. I wish you could see it all. Maybe we'll have you back sometime. We can take you through the whole thing. But I'm real excited to have you guys in the aquarium. And what we've tried to do with this, we get the whole aquarium for Tigerpaw. And we've tried to create an exploration, kind of an encounter thing for you. We've got musicians. We've got magicians scattered throughout. We have got wine tasting station. We've got a scotch tasting station. We've got a number of things like animal encounters. I spent a lot of hours on these slides. So I think we've got 6 different animal encounters where people, they're going to bring in, and I don't even know what they're going to bring in. They're not going to bring a tiger. Apparently they're not going to bring in anything that might harm people, but hopefully we'll see some birds and some mammals. That's going to be a lot of fun. And if you're looking to socialize with me, I'll be the guy with the scotch in the Shark Tunnel. It's been a dream of mine forever. I'm just going to hang out in the Shark Tunnel. So very, very cool activity. Now we're going to run coach buses, big full-size buses. I think we have 5 of them. It's in your agenda, but they're going to cycle from out front, take you to the zoo. It's probably 10, 15 minutes tops, and they're going to continue to run all night. So you can hang out there as late as you want. You can close the place down with me and be on the last bus back. But again, don't worry about transportation. We've got you covered. Penguins. Oh, yes. So I'm actually really excited about our penguins. We have a really nice penguin exhibit, but typically they have the lights off and in the evenings to kind of mess with their sleep schedule. But they told us that they're going to have the lights on. You guys get to see the penguins. I will warn you, however, the reason the lights are on is it's mating season. So we were down there the other day, put our ear to the glass. I'm not kidding. I swear I heard Barry White. So if you're sensitive to such matters of love, you just don't look at the penguins when you walk by. But you're going to want to go see the penguins. And you're all going to feel like that Friday if we do our job right. So Friday morning's breakfast, we call it the hair of the dog breakfast. That should make sense. It is optional. Those of you that have early flights, go ahead and get out of town. If you're still around, we're going to have a great breakfast. It's a good, healthy breakfast, lots of protein. There will be Bloody Marys and I think another beverage for those that truly need a hair of the dog experience. But it's just kind of a way for those that are still around to say hello, maybe swap phone numbers and contact information, and it's just a way to see you off. That is an optional thing. There is nothing important happening. We end up Thursday through the evening. That's the big thing. So hopefully you can come down and join us, but we get it if you've got to catch a flight. But even if you can't stay, come down, grab some food, and say hello. We'd love to see you. So, and this is interesting. I think the reputation of you guys must precede you, because this last night was the Hilton, and I asked the Hilton, I'm like, hey, here's who's coming. We're really proud to have them in Omaha. Can you share with me anything to help their stay be more enjoyable? And I kid you not, these are the two things they told me. One, the waterfall is for decoration only. And two, if you find it attached, leave it attached. That really wasn't what I was looking for in helpful tips from the Hilton. But I said I'd share it, so there you go. Good luck with that. All right, I'm going to get serious. I've got a big product announcement that some of you may know is coming, some of you may not. This is an exciting thing for me. Let me grab a little bit of water as I talk here. So I'd like you to take a moment and think about why you bought Tigerpaw. Why you bought a PSA in general, not just Tigerpaw. Some of you have been through multiple products. Some of you, may have inherited it. I know that I was talking to a number of you last night when I mentioned Pinnacle at 21 years. I think I had two people in the room that were even longer. I think Dale was mentioning 25 years, and we had some long-term customers and some brand new customers. You all made a conscious decision why. Think about it. Do you know why you bought us? We think you bought us because you bought into the notion of an all-in-one product. The reality is, if you wanted a point solution, you could find a point solution. You can run a help desk app like Zendesk. You could, Microsoft CRM. You can use all these disparate systems. But the promise and the premise of a PSA is full business automation, everything in one product. We believe that. We believe that with our whole heart. And it's something that we focus and spend a lot of time on. Ultimately, this is what we should be doing for you. Your quality, speed, and efficiency should go up. Your internal costs should go down. Everywhere throughout your organization. That's kind of the mantra that when we're building software, what we're trying to do. We're watching out for you guys. Now, that said, I can't tell you how many have come up to me and say, we're only using a little bit of Tigerpaw. It literally is the 80-20 rule. 80% of you are using 20% of the product. The other 20% think you're using 80% and are probably using 60%. We want everybody using everything. Pardon me. And we're not there yet. But it's a goal, and we've been struggling. How do we do that? What do we got to do to enable and empower our partners to be successful? It frustrates me when I see my clients doing work with antiquated tools, doing things in spreadsheets, for example, when we have a better solution. And yeah, I'm totally playing the Nebraska card on this slide. We do have these. We really have a lot of these. But, we have built this incredible engine of automation designed for everybody in your organization. But so many of you don't have all the tools. Not everybody's got access to the tools. Maybe you didn't receive the training you needed to be successful with it. And I'm telling you, man, our reason for being is to help you run a better organization throughout your entire organization. I'll share some interesting statistics with you, all right? This is just based on you guys in this room, just as attendees. 33% of you don't have mobile, a full third of you. We put a lot of energy into mobile, and we've got mobile CRM, we've got mobile service. I think our mobile service solution today, after its iterations, is the strongest one out there in the market. Great solution, but a third of you don't have it, which means you're not getting a chance to really leverage all of the power of Tigerpaw. Half of you don't have the Microsoft Exchange integrator. Now, I recognize not all of you run Exchange, but many of you do. This is a product that, if you guys have this, may not be aware, we produced an incredible update earlier this year that addressed a lot of stability with various versions of Microsoft Exchange. Very important, great update. Hopefully that you've applied it. But most of you don't have it. This is kind of a surprising statistic to me. Half of you don't have the customer portal, which is the self-help portal where your users can log in, they can pay their bills, they can submit tickets. Again, you're missing a core piece of the functionality. This is the one I'm kind of building up, right? This is the one that just drives me crazy. Our email connector, I'm going to talk about this here in a minute. Most of you don't have it. If you ask me what is the one tool I should add to Tigerpaw, it would be the email connector. It's like the most useful tool. But many of you don't have it for budgetary reasons, or just made a choice not to install it. And then, of course, 78% of you are not using payment processing through B&G or Mercury, which I think is one of the coolest, most unique things in Tigerpaw, is the ability to send out your recurring agreements for your managed services, integrating to one of the big popular RMMs, and then letting Tigerpaw send the email and then actually process the payment through ACH or credit card. It's right in the product. Most of you guys aren't using that. So, you're going to war and you don't have the whole tool set. You're not done. And we want you to be successful. We want you to beat out your competition. We want you to grow like crazy. We want to be your vendor that helps you do it. So here's an example. You're all, I think almost everybody's on LiveBridge, so you're all eligible for the latest version of the software. We shipped in May 15R1. How many of you believe you're on the latest version of Tigerpaw? Oh, there's some honesty in this room. I like that. The reality is 63% of you are not running this release. You have it. It's available to you. We built it for you. It's a great release. Some incredible features, performance improvements, enhancements. It's all in there, but you're not running it. So you can see our challenge. We want you guys to be successful, but you don't always have the full tool set available to be successful. Most of you remember when you bought Tigerpaw. You remember you got really excited, and then you said, how much is it? And we said, well, I'll tell you what, we'll get out our Ouija board and you get out your org chart and we'll figure out this magical licensing thing, right? And how much you need, which is why a lot of you don't have everything that we've got, because you had to pick and choose and you had to cherry pick. That's not the way we want to do things. The product is about simplifying your business process. We want to simplify a lot more than that. We want to take down these barriers and we want to make it feasible for everybody to get all the value of Tigerpaw. That's why I'm really excited today. We've been working very hard on this, and I can't wait to tell you what it means to you, because it means something very good to you. We have a new product that we've put together to address all of these problems, and this is the first time you guys are going to hear about it. Our new product is called Tigerpaw 1. Get used to this logo. You can see we've got it now on the Gobos. So what is Tigerpaw 1? Tigerpaw 1 is a new wrapping of our product offering. All your Tigerpaw users get access to all the modules. You know what? A sales guy should have access to service. He should check the service history of a client before he calls them to upsell them. You guys in sales ever walked into that wonderful little nightmare? Yeah, that sucks. That really sucks. There's no reason to do it if you're running Tigerpaw. But we know that you've picked and choose based on cost and other reasons, and not everybody has access to all the data that they need. So with Tigerpaw 1, everybody has access to everything. You, of course, can still control at a security level what's visible and what's available. We haven't taken that power from you. But the people are going to have all the tools that they need. All users get mobile. Most of you don't. There's a good chunk of you have mobile. You know that we license it on a 1 to 4 tier and a 5 to 10 tier, and you've picked and choose. I know that you have a lot of mobile out there, but I also know from the statistics, not everybody in your business is running mobile. We want to change that. We want you guys to be effective. We want you to be efficient. That means every Tigerpaw user gets mobile. It also means you get all the add-ons. Everything that Tigerpaw builds and sells, you get. There's no more having to pick and choose what products you're running your business with. We don't want that incomplete Death Star, man. We want you guys to be fully loaded and ready for challenges. And it's one monthly fee per user. Now, you guys have already bought into it, so I got something way different for you. But new guys coming in, one monthly fee. So it's how many people do you need? We put you on that program and you get everything. No more nickel and diming. Think about how this is going to change our conversation and relationship with you guys. I know that every now and then you get a feeling that a vendor, well, you only call me when you want money. We got nothing else to sell you if you're on Tigerpaw 1. The calls you're going to get from us are simply, how do we help you implement more? How do we help you be more productive? That's the only dialogue that we want to have with you guys, is to how to help and how to serve you guys. Everything under one. None of the other competitors that we have do this. It's still an a la carte menu. It's still voodoo. You still see people getting, invoices that have things on them that were never discussed. This is all about simplification. How many people do you want? They get everything. And here's a special thing. Some of you saw the email about the gift, and some of you didn't. This is what I'm excited to tell you. We're going to give you Tigerpaw 1 for a full year for free for coming to this event. Yeah. I want to iterate though, you guys know how we work as a family business. There are no strings attached. This could have been done a lot of different ways. We could have had you sign up for it, and at the end of 12 months, if you didn't opt out, you're going to be on it and you have to pay for it. None of that. We have a sales office out here. It's one paragraph to tell you what you get. It's zero obligation. At the end of 12 months, if you don't even talk to us or want to do anything, you're just going to go back to what you had on LiveBridge. Honestly, no commitment. We want you to have it. This deal is going to mean different things to different people. Some of you have more modules, more add-ons than others, but I promise you, all of you are going to get more than what you have today. Whether it's more users, it's all the add-ons, it's mobile for all your employees, everything I just talked about. And I'm going to run through our products really quickly, because most of you, you're getting this stuff. You're just getting this stuff. So whatever you've been having your eye on at Tigerpaw and you don't have, it's yours. No strings attached. Also, something I want to reiterate, this program is a monthly fee, which is considerably more than what you guys are paying, but you have bought into Tigerpaw. So what we're going to do is at the end of 12 months, we're going to come back to you. And if you want to stay on it, we're going to offer you a monthly payment that's very similar, if not the same as your LiveBridge payment. Others are not going to get that option. But you guys, we know that you've bought it, you've made the investment, and you've put your faith in us. So realize we're not going to stick you with the big bill at the end of this. And again, you don't have to keep it. But for a year, run the heck out of all this stuff and implement. So this means all your users have access to all the modules. So from November 15th, when we intend to start shipping this, if you've got 3 people in sales and you've got 3 people in service, they're all going to have access to everything in sales and service. So all your existing Tigerpaw users have all of the tools. All of them. Also, our mobile runs great on tablets. It runs on phones. We've got a customer portal. We've got a web portal. All of those are included. So everybody in your organization has access to everything, and they have access to everything from just about anywhere they could want it, so that they're functional everywhere. These are the challenges we wanted to overcome. I'm bummed when a guy can't do his job because he doesn't have access to Tigerpaw. We solved that problem. It's gone. The email connector. I wanted to take a moment to mention the email connector, which most of you guys don't have, but you're going to get. How many of you think, when you think of our email connector, you think of an email scraper? That's tend to be what people think it is. It's not. It's absolutely not. Who's using the email connector here? Is it working? You like it? Well, you like the notes feature is my guess, right? All right, so let me tell you how this works, because those of you that don't have it, it's yours, right? Though what's cool is at first I put this presentation together, it felt a little bit like a sales pitch, but I don't have to sell anything. I'm giving it away. That makes this a lot of fun. So the email connector, what we'll do is we'll monitor an inbox, like support@tigerpaw.com. When that email comes in, we will attempt to match that email address to somebody inside of Tigerpaw. If we find them, we generate a ticket and we fire off workflow letting people know that somebody has requested support. If we can't find it, it goes on the dispatch board and a different workflow event fires to tell somebody that, hey, I got a request, I don't know who it came from. That's the start. That's what an email scraper would do. And we have an email scraper if you want to use it. But the point is, after that occurs, every email back and forth between your technicians and your customer, the contents of that email goes in the service order notes. Think about that. How often have you guys had to go trolling through sent folders or trash bins to find out what was promised to a client or what did that client say? You don't have to do that. It's in the notes automatically. Any attachments that your client sends you get put on the service order as an attachment. So when they send you that weird screenshot, right, of the old blue screen of death, and where is that? It's on the ticket. So that's the real power of the email connector. It's really not about turning an email into a ticket, which is kind of cool, but it's about all that back and forth and capturing all the data. There's also workflow events on all of that. So when your client responds with another email and answers your question, you can have workflow notify people that that's occurred, just to keep all of that communications going back and forth. That's why I said this is a tool. Every one of you guys does service. Every one of you should be running the email connector. And now you can. Every one of you can have the email connector, will have the email connector. Here's an example of the setup screen. I won't go into too much detail, but we can monitor, those of you running the email connector, we had a big release in the last 12 months. We had multiple server support. We've got multiple inbox support, and everything's templatized by inbox. So you literally can have one email like support at Tigerpaw can go to one service board. I could have a different one. You know, maybe it's projects at or sales at, and that can go to a completely different service board. So you can set up as many of these as you want, templatize them. You know, there's facilities in there to put filtering so you don't get spam and stuff gunking up your system. Fantastic, fantastic tool. I encourage you guys, when you get this, if you don't have it, this should be one of the first things that you should install and get running. Great, great tool, and it's yours. Tigerpaw Mobile. Boy, we shipped this a couple years ago. We put a lot of effort. Tomorrow I'm going to walk you through the new CRM functionality. But I would like to reiterate, since many of you don't have it and you're getting it, what is in the service side. So, you know, we've got an agenda view that a technician can pull up and see exactly where he needs to be and what he needs to do. Of course, with the CRM piece, you've also got your opportunities and your tasks for CRM on this, but I'm focusing on service. You go from there to start dealing with a job. Many of you guys are familiar with this. We built a ton of automation into this program. So when I tap start here, what it actually does is it starts a travel timer. It prompts me for my mileage if I'm tracking my mileage. It updates the status of the service ticket back home and changes the appearance on the dispatch board, puts a little truck next to that service call so the dispatcher knows that I'm on route. When I get where I'm going, I tap the start work button that closes down the travel timer, prompts me for end mileage if I've chosen that option, changes the status of the ticket again to indicate I'm on site, and the dispatch board has an icon that reflects the technician is there. All of that happens just by tapping a button. We've got some really cool, we focused on automation, and this kind of philosophy that you're seeing is what we're working on bringing into the big fat client as well. So you have it on the desktop. Really, if this is how you want to do it, get it done, right? Tap a button and go. There's no excuse, by the way, for your technicians not capturing time anymore. When we first shipped this, I had somebody come up to me and says, "You did it." And I said, "Well, what did we do?" He goes, "I can finally tell my technicians, if you don't enter the time, you're fired." And I thought, well, that's kind of harsh, but we all know how he feels, right? You're waiting at the end of the week for your timesheets. They're never right. All they got to do is, I'm here. I'm doing the work. I'm done. Your time is captured and it's accurate. I think that's huge. So there's the mileage, service order detail you're going to find through the mobile time logs, expenses, parts used. The inventory they take out on their truck is available to them from their phone. All of that is on their phone. Also, we support the voice to text feature, because another challenge you guys have with your text, if they capture their time, especially if they're capturing them on a sheet, how good at notes are you getting? Can you even read their notes? Scribbles, right? Pretty much says, "Pay me for an hour." That's not very helpful. So what we advise people is have them pull up the phone, tell them, don't worry about grammar, don't worry about autocorrect. You know, if you've got it to be customer facing, maybe have somebody, a cheap intern back home actually clean up the grammar. It's probably a more efficient way to do it. But we say, tap that button and just talk. Just tell us what you did. What did you see there? What did you fix? What did you do? Save it and move on. I mean, literally, it's tap a button, talk to it, tap another button, and be done. It's hard to make it any simpler than that. You're going to have accurate time. You're going to have accurate notes on what was done. It's just a great tool. And again, you all get this. You all get to run this. Here's an example of the dispatch board. You can see the little truck. So those of you that have a little bit bigger organizations and have dispatchers, they can scan the board and see exactly where people are en route, where they're actually on site. It's all visible, and it's all in real time with the mobile product. Password keeper. How many are using our password keeper? I wish all your hands were up. You all have passwords to keep for your clients. Where are you keeping them? Dropbox? Password keeper. Yeah, I'm actually amazed. I talked to somebody when I was traveling. He says, "Oh, we keep that in a Dropbox folder, but we really don't need to because all our clients have the same password." I said, "We need to have a talk." The liability of that is brutal and it's ugly. So we have built, it's inside the desktop. It's also in mobile. So you can pull up all of the passwords for your clients, if you have permission, there's 3 different levels of security on this. The passwords are not stored on the phone. So when I go to pull up passwords for a client, I have to authenticate again. Even though I'm logged into the app, I have to authenticate to get access to those passwords. That way, if your device is lost or stolen, you don't have to worry about compromising your customer's data. Also, every time you edit or every time you view a password in Tigerpaw, many of you guys know this, we log it. So you can actually pull a report. If you have a technician that quits, you can pull a report and see every password they had eyes on for the last 12 months to deal with that. So when you're on site, boom, you've got all the information you need to get the job done. We even have the ability to generate a strong password if that's important to you on site, so the techs don't have to make things up, built right into the mobile. Some other things we have the ability to do is take a photo and attach it to the service ticket. So maybe, you had to go into a server room and spend 2 hours cleaning up a mess that the customer's going to argue about. Or you want to take photo of a damage of a machine. Somebody had been tampering with the machine. Or maybe you just want to capture a serial number badge. Take a photo with your phone. It's automatically uploaded to corporate and attached to the service order as an attachment. Really slick. We also have signature capture, which a lot of people love. That way your technician can explain to the client, here's the work I did while I was here. Please sign it. They can sign it with their finger. That signature is attached to the service ticket. I think in 15R2 we added the ability to see that from the service order screen, so you can pull up a service order and see the signature. Capture it right there. You're welcome. That was a common request, was to have that available. That's in there. So, capture the signature before you walk out the door. Avoid those disputes. Of course, capturing the signature, closing down the work, triggers workflow back in the corporate office. You could literally have an invoice going out the door before your technician even warms up their truck. That's pretty cool. And that's, again, all built into mobile. Tigerpaw Customer Portal. Many of you guys don't have the Customer Portal. I'm not going to go hugely into detail. There's a lot of functions. The Customer Portal is designed for you to put in place to brand it with your own logos and images and fonts. It's all skinnable to make it look like it's your organization. But this is a place to give your clients the ability to self-serve. So they can come out here, they can submit requests for service tickets, they can check the status of tickets, and don't underestimate that. You guys work with a lot of small businesses. You guys are small businesses like we are. A lot of work gets done on the weekends. That's when the boss wants to sit down and see what tickets are being addressed, or maybe that's when he's going to fill out a request. So this gives them visibility. It also has the ability for you to provide quotes through the portal, and they can approve them. So you can send them a link to your portal, they can go out there, they can click, and they can approve it. I think Rick Harbour was telling me that he actually uses the customer portal as part of his quarterly report with the client. He actually logs in and walks them through the portal. They get to see the data that's important to them. He's also slyly teaching them how to use it. You can control the menu. Is it a flyout? Is it up top? What features do you want the customer to have access to, not have access to? Fully customizable. You can also pay your bills through the portal and our payment processing system. We have a really neat feature. So let's say you bill a guy for $1,000 and he has an issue with $100 on that bill. What happens? He doesn't pay the bill. That's right. The portal, you can actually go in, pick an invoice for $1,000 and say, I want to make a dispute. It says, how much do you want to dispute? I want to dispute $100. It'll process his payment for $900, fire a workflow to tell somebody in your organization to give him a call to deal with the dispute. Again, collapsing that time to collect, right? Not giving them a reason not to pay you. It's built in there, and there's no cost to you. And now those of you that didn't have it, you all get this. So after you implement the email connector, this is probably the next thing I would say that you should put in. But again, as of now, you all have the customer portal. Another thing I'll tell you about the customer portal, which is why I'd encourage you guys to use it. When somebody calls you on the phone, there's not a lot of opportunity to triage, right? You got to help that client. But when you get suggestions, you get requests through email, you get them through the customer portal, that gives you an opportunity to put your eyes on it, figure out the severity, and deal with it in the appropriate time frame. If you can train your clients to use your portal for non-critical items, it's going to free up your help desk for those calls that are more lengthy and more technical in detail. So think about that. It's a really good thing to do. We also have a Tigerpaw employee portal. Looks very similar to the customer portal, but this is designed for your staff. So if they're not in the office and you're not using a remote desktop technology, we've got a web interface that it's primarily wrapped around the service side, but your technicians can log in. Again, this is skinnable, it's customizable, it's got full security control, but this will allow you to web enable your service force if they're not using mobile and they don't have access to your desktop. That also is coming with Tigerpaw 1. We're not going to nickel and dime you. You get it. How many of you are even familiar that we have a co-managed portal? You have about 3 of you. I think that's all. You might be all the ones that are running it. Now, so the co-managed portal, this is an interesting thing, especially for some of you guys getting into managed services. Let's say you're going to an organization, maybe it's 50 to 100 people, and they've got a technician, and you can't unseat that guy, right? You'd like to have all their business, but he's been there for a long time, he's entrenched. One of the great techniques for getting in that organization is saying, let us help you. Let us be your overflow. If your guy gets buried, maybe he gets into a situation that he's not real comfortable with in an area he's not certified in, maybe he's just going to go on vacation for 2 weeks. Let us help you. Let us be your backup IT firm. Great technique. What happens now, though, is you've got service tickets that you're dealing with the organization, and then the guy on site has also got tickets he's dealing with. What our co-managed portal does is it actually allows you to set up external reps like technicians in Tigerpaw, but the portal gives them very limited visibility and limited access. You can actually assign the accounts that they get to see. So you might say this consultant or this on-site guy only has these 2 accounts. But the nice thing is they're logging in through the web. They're doing all the service information in your Tigerpaw system, which means you get all of the workflow of that. So that guy on site might have struggle with the server. He opens up a ticket in your portal. That's going to fire off workflow to let your team know, hey, they need our help. But you can update the ticket, the co-managed tech can update the ticket, and everything is in your system. All the workflow, all the data, everything's in Tigerpaw. So literally, this is a specialized piece of code here, but something I think a lot more of you can utilize than have in the past, and it's part of Tigerpaw 1. So research it, you get it. You'll be able to put it on your system. Some sample screens, of course, we capture technician time. We capture a lot of service order detail, what you would expect us to do. We mentioned the Microsoft Exchange integrator. How many are using Microsoft Exchange? A good chunk of you. So most of you are probably on the integrator based on our numbers then, which is great. Remember, we put out a big, important update earlier this year. When you go home, please double check what version you're running and make sure you have the latest. Put a lot of effort into it, and I think it's going to make you really happy. And if you have Exchange and you don't have the Exchange integrator, you get it. You'll be able to put that on. Outlook to Journal Connector. How many of you are running this piece? Wow, only a couple of you. How many have never heard? Do you know what it is? Oh, okay. This is really cool. So what we've done is we built an Outlook add-in. This actually sits inside of Outlook. It monitors all the incoming emails and the outgoing emails, kind of like that email connector we talked about. If it finds an email address that it can identify to an account in Tigerpaw, the contents of that email are automatically put into the journal. Let that sink in. No more tracking down all those emails. No more trying to figure out what somebody promised to a client. No more trying to figure out what a client actually said or asked for. It's all in. The field to take a look at here is the one I highlighted in yellow, the Tigerpaw. You can see journalized means it was able to identify them and it created a journal note. Not found means the email didn't exist, and ambiguous address means I've got that email address on multiple accounts. I can't figure out what to do with it. You can actually pull up that ambiguous one, click a button, and manually select the account to attach to it. But again, once you set it up, it's all automatic ingoing and outgoing. You can set up exclusions if there's certain clients or certain communication you do not want to enter in the journal. You also can pull up an email that's been journalized, click a button, and recall it. I mean, that happens every now and then. I might send a private email and realize they're in Tigerpaw and go, ooh, I don't want that in the notes. So you can click a button and you can bring that back down. This is so unbelievable because I am able to go back with conversations, quick email conversations with clients from a year ago and know exactly what was said. And it's not in the email server, it's in the journal notes where it belongs. So this component, which most of you aren't using, is all part of Tigerpaw 1. You guys are going to be able to install this on all your machines that you want to and have all that automatic journaling taking place. No cost. Here's an example of the setup, pretty basic. I can put a default journal topic, default email sent action, and a received action, which is really cool because it makes it reportable. And I can go get every journal entry that was an email sent, and now I've got every email that was sent to my clients that I was tracking, which is pretty neat. API, I'm going to focus on this tomorrow. Do know that we've made our API incredibly robust. AVG is the first major RMM player to write to it, which I'm really excited. They're going to be speaking here next. Great partner of ours, but a number of other people have been writing the API as well. Tomorrow I want to tell you what we're doing with the API. I'm going to talk about the integrations that have been built and the integrations that are in the queue, but I want you guys to know this is a huge focus. We have constant effort and attention on the development of our API, and we're going to continue to do that. The integrations are important to you. We understand that. The people have come out of the woodwork to write integrations to us, which we're really grateful for, but you guys need to know this is not something that's a side project for us. It's getting a huge amount of attention. Tigerpaw Academy, you're going to have a lot of software, a lot of software that you don't have today. You're going to need to get up to speed on it. So tomorrow I'm going to walk you through the Tigerpaw Academy and ask that you all use it, please. If you all try to call us and say, teach me this, we might have a problem. So we've got avenues to help you. I'm going to walk through that tomorrow. So I'm going to recap what you guys are getting. All the core modules for every Tigerpaw user you have today. So if you got 37, if you got 7, they're all going to get access to everything. The mobile, everybody gets access to mobile. The customer portal, the email connector, the Exchange integrator, employee portal, of course the API, the Outlook connector we talked about, and all of the training like you'd have on LiveBridge. Every single one of you gets all of this for a year. No charge, no strings attached. To clarify things you need to know about, right? No cost. No obligation to keep it. We hope you love it. I think we're going to make it so attractive. It's going to be like moving right out of LiveBridge into this program. You're going to get way more for what you were paying. You do have to stay active with your LiveBridge, whatever LiveBridge mobile you have today. So if it comes up for renewal and you choose not to renew, the free stuff will go away. I think that's fair. We're going to provide regular support like we always do, but we are not going to be able to provide installation assistance. You can imagine if everybody here called us and wanted us to install 3 things on their server. We have partners that will do that for you. If you don't have a staff that's comfortable with it and you want to engage somebody else, we've got people that will do it on a very reasonable hourly rate. They'll log into your system. They'll take care of all that for you. So don't be upset if we tell you, hey, we can't walk you through the install, but we will train you. We will help you. We'll do everything we can to make you successful. We plan to start shipping November 15th. We will probably do this on a cycled rollout. So some will get it on the 15th. Some will get it the next week. Do know that your 12 months free is going to start from when you have access to download it. So please don't worry if you're not in that first batch. And we promise you we won't short you. We want nothing more than to make you happy and take good care of you. So, and then if you want to add any additional users beyond what you get during the promotion, it's a discounted fee of $69 a month. So you don't have to buy any service licenses. If you want to buy them in the old model, you certainly can. But we decided to do it this way to make it a lot easier and more attractive to just add new users. So that's the gist of it. We are here to give you this as a gift. We think it's going to transform your business. We want you using what we've got. We're proud of the tools. We want you to be successful. The last thing we want you to do is feel cheated in any way by giving you something. So I promise you, you're going to be taken care of. You're all going to be taken care of. And just so you guys know, this free offer is not for anybody. We've got a lot of loyal customers. This is for you guys at the event. For our other customers that didn't come to the event, we're going to do something, but they're not going to get this deal. This is for you guys. We're grateful that you put your faith in us, that you came to Omaha. I hope this was a nice, pleasant surprise. We're going to send you with a lot of free software, a lot of training, a lot of food. I want you guys to have a phenomenal time. If there's anything I can do or a Tigerpaw member can do, you find us, and we'll take good care of you. So thank you, guys. We're just getting started.